Hey, brothers, you're listening to Home Bar Happy Hour. We're going to be talking about Monday Night Raw on Netflix. We're going to be talking about Hoarders, and we're going to be talking about Wild Card Weekend. That's right, brothers. It is playoff season, and just like the commercial said, we got lead in our foot and spirit in our fingers. Let's roll, America.
All right. Hello, everybody. Let's roll indeed. Welcome to the Home Bar Happy Hour, where we bring happy hour to you. My name is Joe, and that is Chef Gus. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by the Home Bar. If you like hanging out, please make sure to subscribe on YouTube or leave us a review on the podcast service of your choice. Our episode today is sponsored by BuyBlacket.com, but we'll tell you about that a little bit later. For now, let's get into it. Mike, how are you doing after the Eagles win? That didn't really matter, but they had a win regardless, which is always good. And that led right into Monday Night Raw on Netflix. What a
Absolutely, man.
Crazy time.
Yeah, dude. We're gonna start off here with our Monday Night Raw. Dude, it was a big deal, man. It was their first time going into a streaming service. So
yeah, I think it's The Rock also said, right, it was their biggest gate for a WWE event. I'm assuming that's including like WrestleManias and stuff, which is
like
insane.
Viewership.
I don't know about viewership. I don't think Netflix has released his number, but he said like the gate. So how many people bought tickets were in?
Oh no, there's been WrestleMania. Like I feel like it's been just for a televised weekly show.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that for
Raw.
Because
there's pay-per-views like WrestleMania has been up to like close to 80,000 people in a football stadium. And
yeah,
they only had like a little over 17,000 in that arena.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it must have been for a ticketed, like typical Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
But I mean, still huge event, huge people showing up. A lot of
17,000 people in an arena that's a lot of people.
Hey, that's more people than are showing up for Clippers games. That's for sure. That's where the Clippers play. So they're definitely outselling the Clippers. I thought it was a good event. There was, I think you said you're going to touch on some of the things you didn't like about it, but
yeah, the cons.
Yeah, I really liked. It's hard to say like the things I did. I didn't like how long it was. 3 hours is a little tough. And there were still all these advertisers in there. I get you got to do advertising breaks. But coming into it being like the Netflix era, it did feel like kind of starting over, like season one or like season premiere of a new Raw. Like, I think The Rock starting it out. I guess he started out with Triple H, but The Rock kind of, right after that, bringing it in. My dude's up there, shilling for some type of CEO job. He wants to be on that board. He wants to be a part of this inside and outside of the ring. I think that's what The Rock is shooting for. I don't know if you saw.
He is on the board.
Is he?
Yeah, he's on the board at TKO.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's what I think he's looking for, is this kind of, front-facing position where he's going to be talking a lot more and doing a lot less wrestling. I don't know if you saw him get kind of clowned at the Golden Globes by Vin Diesel, which was pretty sick. The Rock's out here having a busy weekend, getting clowned by Vin Diesel on Sunday night and then opening up Monday Night Raw on Monday.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Cool.
The only good movies that Vin Diesel came out was the Fast and Furious franchise.
I mean, some would disagree that those movies are terrible. I don't agree with those people, but those movies
are entertaining. They're entertaining action movies.
They are entertaining action movies for sure. He was in a Sidney Lumet movie as well. He was also in Saving Private Ryan.
Just for a little bit there. One of it, A Man Apart. A Man Apart was
Man Apart was good.
That was a good movie.
Yeah,
but I feel like The Rock has done a lot more in a hell of a lot more in the entertainment business. Not just like acting, but between pro wrestling, He's got his collegiate football career in Miami.
Yeah.
Um, you know, he's just all over the place. He's like, investing and, it's just
Yeah.
wild.
That's kind of the, if you're looking at careers, The Rock is winning 100%.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel got a small moment of being able to clown him at the Golden Globes, which was just ridiculous. But I liked, I liked that Raw also felt kind of consequential. There was a women's championship belt that changed hands. You also had, some big names stopping in, from Hulk Hogan to Undertaker stopped by. Obviously, John Cena was there. He's on his, retirement run here. So I thought it was a good way to start it off. Also, I didn't get to watch it live, but I'm assuming there was no, I didn't see anything on Twitter or anything. Didn't look like there was any huge hiccup issues, no buffering issues. It all went
everything was smooth.
Yeah, which was good. So if you want to get into the stuff you didn't like, that's the stuff I did like. The last thing I did like was Hulk Hogan come out and everyone booing him. I don't know if that's something you have took issue with, but there was no reason for that dude to be there. He was just there shilling his beer. And people at this point really just remember him from NWO, that kind of era, more than the WWE era. So, man, I thought it was really funny, him coming out and just immediately getting booed by everyone in the stadium.
So I want to what was it? The women's match I thought was the best. I thought that was the best match. I thought that was good. Rhea Ripley getting that, her women's title back. The second match was the Seth Rollins and CM Punk. That was the final match.
That was the final match.
That was good. That was a classic. But I mean, outside of that, the Bloodline segment took like a whole hour. I'm like, bro, dude. And when it all just came down to, everybody knew Roman Reigns was going to win it.
Right.
Like, I just felt like it's if you're going to start over, you got to start so some of the bad stuff was like I felt like The Rock coming out and just completely wiping away everything in the storylines against him and Cody Rhodes, trying to iron up his belt and everything like that and stuff like, it was kind of like, I just felt like that it just screwed with the whole storyline. I have no idea what's going on from that point on. After that, I felt like that Bloodline match was way too long. And then after that, like, they had John Cena come out and he talked, and it's like, okay, but there was no building. Like, these guys just came out and just spoke. And there was typically what you want is somebody to come out and start building a storyline off of this. If he's coming back for a farewell tour, he should be, but I guess he wants to do another title run to get to the 17th champion. 17th, but at the same time, like, if this is your farewell run, you should be wanting to pick somebody that you enjoy and that you would like to further them, put them over as your you know what I mean? Like, to say like, oh, hey, I'm the last one that wrestled, legit wrestled John Cena. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I know yes, everybody, we all know it's fake. It's entertainment. But you can't entertain someone when the only reason I'm watching this is to be entertained through, reality show drama. And then, of course, that's athleticism in the ring, being able to do, you know what I mean? Like, that goes into my other point where you had the world champion, wasn't even there. That's his show. Like, where was Gunther at? Like, why wasn't he in a match for a title match? Like, they couldn't have booked somebody in there. That's why I said, like, that Bloodline match went way too long, man. Also, they didn't have any tag team. They didn't have no tag team. They didn't have a tag team match. They had also all the SmackDown talent was like sitting at ringside, like they were like special guests and stuff like that. Why weren't they included on the show? They're a part of the company. I know there's SmackDown guys, but they're still part of the company, and eventually they will be coming to Raw. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't know exactly how all of the contracts and stuff work. I know they do that like draft where like some guys go to Raw and some guys go to SmackDown. I guess it's still on USA, right? A SmackDown. I'm assuming there's some type
Yeah.
of clause in the contract with USA that says like you can't have our talent wrestling on
That
your
is
program.
true.
So I'm assuming that that's part of it. That's why you have Tiffy time up in the corner and stuff. I guess they're allowed to show them. They're all WWE. But The Rock coming out, you're right. Like it was weird him like kind of breaking kayfabe and being all nice to Cody Rhodes and everything. That seems a little odd. But that's what I was kind of saying. I think he's trying to move away from the personality of The Rock as a wrestler and trying to move into more of that like Triple H role and being kind of a front facing um, former wrestler instead of like a current wrestler.
Well, he is going to be wrestling one more time, well, at least one more time against Roman Reigns. So
Yeah, I definitely think he is. I think he's trying to line up something, for the future of his career where he's not just, coming back every few years. I mean, he's still got it. That dude's huge and is probably in better shape than most of the wrestlers now.
Well, he is kind of slow. I saw that People's Elbow at WrestleMania, and it was really slow. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oof. But continuing on from that, I thought that what else? What else were some bad ones? I honestly, to tell you the truth, I have no idea what the hell all these terms mean, like kayfabe and shoot and all these other. I'm like, dude, I really don't care. I've never known. Like, I've always been a fan just to watch for entertainment, and if I'm not going to be entertained, I'm just not going to watch it. That's why it fell off for me. Well, especially going to Afghanistan. Like I just stopped watching it, and then like I watch a WrestleMania every once in a while, but there for a period of time, like I just didn't watch it at all until WrestleMania when Sting came back to wrestle Triple H. That was pretty cool. But continuing on to it, I saw that they didn't. This was a good thing that I saw was that they didn't screen out a lot of the majority of swear words. They didn't screen out the chant, the audience chanting "fuck you, Solo" or whatever. But it was weird because then they screened out, they edited out The Rock when he first came out, and he said, "Let's fucking do this."
Yeah, so I noticed this. I noticed it's still rated TV PG, and that was a big like turn from like the Attitude Era kind of to like this, era that we're in now, as they went from TV 14 when it was the Attitude Era to TV PG. So on Netflix, they're still keeping it TV PG. So
is it still? I didn't even take notice of it. I thought they were putting in a TVMA. They can't because they can't keep it TV PG because they were letting the swear words just fly.
I mean, you can have some swear words in TV PG. I don't know if, I don't know if there's
that
like
that and the women, Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, their outfits were pretty.
Yeah, that was a little more in TV PG.
Yeah, they were pretty revealing. But
yeah, I mean, you have to see how it goes from. I don't know how it works with like audience chants, like because you can't just like mute the entire stadium. Like they don't have a mic to mute, right? Like,
oh no,
The Rock comes out, you can mute their mic.
No, they run? Yeah, that's live, but it's a couple seconds behind because that's what they do is they block. That's what they were always doing on USA.
Yeah, but you don't when they're like editing out typically like something like that. They're just like they have that delay, but they're muting that person's mic, right? They're not like just doing dead silence in the air. So like if you look at like Saturday Night Live.
Oh no! It was definitely muted. If you go back and read it, it was just silence for like a split second.
There wasn't even like the audience or anything. They didn't just cut out his mic.
Yeah, it was complete. Yeah, but and then continuing on, I thought like after Rhea Ripley won the match and then the Undertaker came out, like I was like, okay, so the Undertaker came out with his bike, rode around the arena and then came back up to her and just like high-fived her, congratulated her and stuff. Like, I'm like starting to think, I'm like, okay, so like, why don't you get with Mark and see if like you can help like him be her manager or something? You know what I mean? On that Gothic side, I always said that would have been a good way for Mark, if he wanted to stay in the business and just be a manager and like manage like, back when the Judgment Day was something. With those guys. but because they were more on the gothic side. There's another uh, faction too that's kind of gothic. Not the Wyatt brother. That would be a good one to have, but that's kind of like Bray Wyatt's type of world that they're going off of, and they're
Yeah.
just keeping it respectful. But there's another faction I forget, but the Miz is now a part of it. But so that was kind of like odd, and I'm like, okay, all right, well, but and then of course, then after that, Hulk Hogan coming out, and like I had like mixed feelings. Like I was like, all right, like yeah, what is the Hulkster? Like I wished he would have came out as Hollywood Hulk Hogan, like you said, like an NWO Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Like that would have been pretty sick. If he would have came out with the lightning bolt pants and and everything, and the NWO song, and but at the end of the day, like I just like the dude like was the cornerstone of that whole industry. Like I just felt like booing the guy was very disrespectful. Like I mean, outside of the stuff that he said, like that racist thing, I kind of got the gist from that what he said. But if you can if people can forgive Michael Vick from animal brutality, and you can forgive Kramer and all these other people, like come on, man, like people fuck up all the time, nobody's perfect, like I don't know, I just felt like it was a bad city for I don't know, there's other legends that could have came out that were more a part of Monday Night Raw, like Kurt Angle and Kurt Angle and let's see here, Mick Foley, and that would have been pretty cool to have Chris Jericho come back to say Raw is Jericho. That would have been pretty sweet.
Yeah, getting the Hulk back just seemed like a nostalgia bait, just trying to get people like, hey, we got Hulk Hogan back. Same with kind of like throwing in the Undertaker. Like they don't have anything to do, they're just kind of showing up to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And the Hulk was like just there to show his beer, to be like, hey, this is my beer and we're partnered with it, and go buy it. And you're like, all right, dude, like you're just gonna walk out, rip a t-shirt that's got Netflix on it, sell your beer, and then get out of here. Like, dude,
Yeah,
how much money?
That kind of goes along with a lot of stuff. But it would have been really funny if he would have came out to sell his beer, and then all of a sudden the glass breaks, and here comes Stone Cold with his fucking beer.
Yeah,
it's just, you know what I mean. So it would have been like a beer battle, but whatever.
I think that's kind of the thing too, though, right? Like why people are, have just in the general public turned on Hulk as opposed to turning on, no one's really turned on Stone Cold, because Stone Cold wouldn't do anything like that. Like Stone Cold's not going to come out just to like, get a paycheck from Netflix and a paycheck from his beer company and not do anything at a wrestling event. You know what I mean? I feel like he would come out and do something.
Whoa, Jesus, he's like 80 years old, man.
Stone Cold?
No,
the Hulk?
Hulk Hogan. That's why Stone Cold came back at WrestleMania a couple of years ago. Is if you notice the beer that he drinks in it is his beer. That's free advertisement.
Yeah,
and he's obviously getting paid.
Yeah,
but so yeah, I just there were things that could have been better. I mean, the build up for it was insane. Like that cold opening that video was fucking sick.
Yeah, there's a lot of hype behind it. I think you're kind of a victim of your own marketing at that point. You build it up so much. It was never going to be a WrestleMania type event. It was a Monday Night Raw. It's going to be a Monday Night Raw. It's very good Monday Night Raw, but it's still a Monday Night Raw. And I think it'll be interesting to see how it continues to do on Netflix. I think a lot of people tuned in, for this first one.
Oh, well, the Royal Rumble's in a couple weeks, obviously. Excuse me.
Yeah, but we'll kind of see how the numbers continue. I think it'll be interesting. I think if this works, I think you're going to see a network pick up SmackDown or a streamer rather, like instead
like Hulu?
Hulu? Go to like a Hulu or a Peacock or something like that.
Yeah.
Peacock's already got SmackDown might be on Peacock already. I don't know.
No, it's just they just have like all the stuff. They do the pay-per-views.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see it go to somewhere, a Paramount Plus or something. But and then you kind of one of the final not the final nail in the coffin. Once football becomes widely available on streaming like every single football game, that'll be the final nail in the coffin. But, just putting a couple more nails in the cable coffin, like cable TV. I don't know the last time I turned on the USA network. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
maybe when I was watching Jag in 2003 or something. Like, it's been, it's been a long time. What was that show that was on there? Burn Notice. Maybe I was watching Burn Notice back in the day, but I can't remember, last time I've even thought about the USA network.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, Sunday, dude, I got ripped out here in my bar, man.
Yeah.
I got a 2 12-packs of Mountain Dew, hard Mountain Dews that I made.
All right.
I made some, what we call it, white people tacos.
Okay.
I was just like, I'm not in the mood to make anything bougie. I just like shredded up some lettuce. I cut up some white onion, some tomatoes, and and I just got like Taco Bell mix.
Oh,
and I
nice.
was like, yeah, so, and I just had taco bowls,
Yeah.
and it's just taco salads. But, yeah, dude, it was, watching the games for the last time. It was pretty, I was like, man, this is going to suck, man. No more red zone for another year.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always tough when it, coming to the end of the season. You're like, well, what am I going to do?
I'm a huge red zone fan. I love red zone.
Yeah. One of the, I think it's Peacock, has like something that's like similar to Red Zone. Like I don't have cable, but Peacock's got something that's like kind of similar. They show like every point and all that stuff.
Really?
So I just watch it on that. Yeah.
I had no idea that they had that.
It's called like NFL Game Day or something. And it runs like all throughout up until Sunday Night Football. Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, dude. So how are what are your feelings now, going into, as an Eagles fan, going into playing the Packers?
I feel pretty good about it. I mean, we've been playing well, even with the injuries and stuff. I haven't been keeping up. What's the latest with Jalen Hurts? Is he?
Well, we'll find out tomorrow. Like tomorrow's when the practice starts. So if
Okay.
he's not out there practicing, that's when people are going to raise some hell. But I feel like he's going to be out there. I don't foresee like how he wouldn't. Like what's going on here? Like
Yeah.
why is he not practicing? And why are you keeping this hidden from us?
Yeah, and it makes sense to not play him, the past couple games. I'm really bummed they didn't play Saquon on Sunday. I would have really liked to see him, get that record. I get it. I understand it too.
Yeah.
You don't want him to get hurt, but
well, no, not just that, but like I said in the previous episode, is if you start him, you got to start everyone because they're all reason why he got those rushing yards to keep the secondary back.
Right.
You got to have the offensive line in there, and like even if he doesn't get injured, but somebody like Lane or Mailata or somebody on that offensive line gets injured, or AJ gets injured, or you know what I mean, like that, all hell break loose.
Yeah. There's a whole team around him, and you're playing as a team, right? Not as a person. You're playing, to go as far. And I think we're gonna go. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't want to knock on.
Here's a little pointer here for you. If we would have ran the ball weeks 1 through 4, we wouldn't have this conversation.
That's true. If we would have just started running earlier,
he would have torpedoed that fucking record right out of the goddamn sea.
Yeah, and we'll see next year.
Thrown it right off the ramparts.
he definitely would have. And it's not to say he didn't have an incredible season. I mean, what did he end with? Over 2,000.
Well, next year I don't foresee it happening next year because I don't know if you've seen the schedule, but we have 10 of the teams we play next year are all in the playoffs. It's a gauntlet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever, man, bring it on.
Yeah.
I'm not as long as they stay healthy. Like it's just when players get injured, it's like what the fuck, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to, like, I don't want an opposing team to lose any of their players, so it's just like when we beat, if you beat us or if we beat you, like, it's like, hey, you had your whole team out there. We had our whole team out there. Everybody was healthy. Nobody got injured. And, it was a legit battle. And whoever won, I don't like seeing the referees dictating games. I don't like seeing people getting injured, and it just sours. That's what sours the game in my mind. So, like us going in there, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to quote after Ron Jaworski, Jaws.
Yeah.
I don't see any avenue or any way that we were going to lose against Green Bay. Their CB's out, their number one wide receivers out, and Jordan Love's kind of banged up. And the fact that we are matched up better in every position against them, with the exception of quarterback at this moment, Jordan Love. But if Hurts is in, they're kind of about equal, I would feel, because Jordan Love is a really good quarterback.
Yeah, definitely.
But we match him out in running back, offensive line. We're kind of even when it comes to defensive line. I would say they would have the better overall defensive line, but we have Jalen Carter, and Jordan Davis is a goddamn monster.
Yeah, we're at home too, right? So I mean that helps a bit. It would help a bit if it wasn't Green Bay, where they're used to it being super cold. But man, it's going to be a bruiser out there.
It's going to be cold.
Yeah, my wife was like, "Would you want to go to the game?" I was like, "There is no way I'm going to that game. Are you kidding me?" Bringing hand warmers and electric jackets, like you're going to freeze to death out there.
Electric jackets and hand warmers, shit! Don't stop there, man. I'm bringing a bottle of Jameson.
Yeah, do that too.
Got to keep you warm, brother.
Yeah. Definitely need to be down in a few shots. Yeah, it's
a few.
Yeah,
I would just be sipping on a few beers and just go running through that bottle.
Yeah, beers might be freeze. They might freeze before they even as soon as you open them up.
Yeah, I don't know. Negative. I'm trying to think of if it's like
it's like 20 degrees outside. Yeah,
I know. Yeah, like I guess if it's out there, but yeah, that's what you got to drink them a little bit faster.
Yeah, you just got to pour them down. You just got to roll them in your gullet.
That's the way to do it. Absolutely right, man. But then we got that nor'easter coming here supposedly on Saturday, so there's going to be they'll have the field and shit cleared out by then because we play Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, at least we're not in Buffalo. I feel like every year something crazy happens up in Buffalo, New York. Since they've been a better team, the past 5-6 years, and they've been making it into January and February. It was last year, they're like, just put out on Twitter, like, hey, anyone that wants to come down, we need people to shovel. It's like $18 an hour. Just bring your shovel, bring your kids. We got to get this, cleared out.
You'd have to be giving me tickets, on lower level tickets for me to go up there and shovel for a stadium. I ain't going there to shovel. You can pay people to do that. You're a $1 billion empire.
And I think this is where all the Taylor Swift hate came from last year, because when Kansas City came in there, all those people are out in Buffalo, first having to watch their team lose to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And then they get to, they're out there freezing their nards off in negative 4-degree weather. And the camera keeps shooting up to, Taylor Swift warm, having a ball up in her, heated suite. I'm like, yeah, I'd be mad at Taylor Swift too if I'm out here dying, watching my team lose, freezing.
I'd be throwing snowballs up there at them.
Yeah, you can't do that in Philly. She'd get batteries and snowballs thrown at her. We'd turn real quick.
Yeah, ketchup packets.
Yeah, it'd be over.
Remember that game when they were throwing ketchup packets and shit at Matt Ryan's family, I guess?
Yeah.
They were, like apparently she got hit with a bunch of condiment packets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She probably didn't deserve it, but you gotta, sometimes you get some friendly fire when you head into Philly. There are some, I saw the one video of this one dude in the lower level, just with no shirt on, an old guy, no shirt on, just messing with a Giants fan. Dude, no way would I be able to deal with that. If I was an Eagles fan, I'd probably uppercut him. Yeah.
I don't care if he's a Birds fan or not. He's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I don't like dealing with idiots, man.
I don't like it either. And you gotta, be sure you're not writing checks you can't cash,
Yeah.
People.
I'm like, yo, man, put a fucking shirt on, dude. There's kids out here.
Yeah.
Dude, and then those guys up at Buffalo, they're fucking goddamn lunatics.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, that guy, I saw that video, the one guy had his shirt off and stuff. He's just ripping beers in the fucking stadium or in the seats. And come to find out he had to go to the hospital and get treated for hypothermia.
I think a dude lost his hand last year in Buffalo. I think I remember reading that story.
I heard a story where people lost their lives.
Yeah. Yeah. Dangerous games. Don't move to upstate New York. What a terrible place to live. Just an awful, you might as well be in Canada at that point, and then you get to be the 51 state at some point.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so we're gonna do a little movie review, Joe.
Let's take it into an ad break first, and
Okay.
then we'll come back to the movie review. If you didn't know, this is the Home Bar Happy Hour. Every Thursday at 4:30 p.m., we bring happy hour to you. This week, we are brought to you by BuyBlacket.com, and we're going to tell you about that right now. This episode of Home Bar Happy Hour is brought to you by BuyBeckett.com. Head over to BuyBeckett.com/homebarhappy to shop their happy hour line of clothing and gifts. They have cool t-shirts, sweatshirts, and fun coffee mugs that lets everyone know you care about the important things in life, like happy hour. And if you use our link, you can get 15% off your first order. Buy Beckett has a ton of great clothing and accessory options, from their happy hour line to their veteran first line. Mike and I are both vets, and we love showing our support for the troops with a cool mug or a funny t-shirt. They have some really great stuff, and you will not be disappointed. So head over to buybeckett.com/homebarhappy or use the link in the description for 15% off your first order. Help support the show and get yourself some great stuff. That's buybeckett.com/homebarhappy or use the link in the description. All right, Mike. So what movie did you bring for us this week?
So this movie is I haven't watched it in a long time, but the original Robocop.
The OG.
That dude, that like looking at it, like watching it, I was like, dude, looking at this, I was like, this was probably one of the most violent movies of the 80s at that time.
Crazy.
Dude, when they took out Murphy there, after, like, dude, that was graphic as shit. Blowing his hand off with a shotgun and then just unloading on him and he's screaming and shit. That was pretty traumatizing, man.
The 80s were a wild time. I remember like being a kid, you know, and this is like the early 90s, like going into stores and there would be action figures in the toy section of Robocop and Terminator 2. And I'm like, Mom, can I watch these movies? Like, no, you can't watch these movies. You're 6 years old. We're not letting you watch R-rated movies. You know, but I have the Robocop action figure.
Dude, like when those two guys were trying to rape that blonde in the parking lot, and then like he shows up, and then they're like, he's gonna shoot her, and he shoots her between the legs, right into his unit. Yeah. That's what we're gonna call a unit.
Into his
and then, guy. Dude, his testicle was hanging right out, dude. They didn't, if you look right there, like they made it look, his testicle was hanging out. That's how graphic they got. That was insane. And then
they went harder than they needed to.
Yeah, I'm like, Jesus. And then, dude, some of the funniest moments was when, Clarence Bonniger, he was like coming in, like, when he came in to kill Bob Norton, and he was like, bitches leave. That was, dude, Tony and I crack up laughing. It's like one of the funniest things. Yeah. Like, and then, what else? Oh, yeah, and he's like, what is this? Oh, he's like, I work for Dick Jones. Dick Jones. Dick Jones is #1 guy at OCP. OCP runs the cops. And like right there when he was killing him. And that was actually pretty good when he kicked down that door in that Coke warehouse. Yeah. And he was like, come. He's like, what does he say? Come peacefully or there will be trouble. And that fucking Asian guy shot. Yeah, fuck you. Dude, I remember my brother and I were just pissing ourselves as kids watching that shit. Of course, my dad edited a lot of this stuff out back then.
Was your dad, would he pause it or mute it before, like, if he knew curse words were coming up?
No. He it's more of the graphic violence and like the very graphic violence and the sexuality.
Okay. My dad, we weren't allowed to watch like R-rated movies, but my parents would mute it. Like if we were watching a PG-13 movie and they knew there was like a scene coming up with an F word or something, they would mute it. Yeah, they were very strict. But I learned how, when I was pretty young, how to do the TV settings where when you muted it, the captions would come up. So they would mute it, you know, trying to get, and then I'd be able to still see everything. And I remember the first time they found that, they were freaking out, muting it to try to quit the cursing, and then it all just shows up on the TV.
Yeah. What were some? What did he? Oh, when he was coming in there, and he was like, when he's sitting there talking, he was like dealing with that guy. That he's like, I don't think you heard me. And I got enough muscle in this town to shove it up a lot of this product up your wop ass. You'll be shitting snow for a week. And he's like, Frankie, blow this cocksucker's head off right now. And then all of a sudden everybody's like locking on. He's like, ooh, guns, 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 guns. Hurry up, Sal. Tigers playing tonight. Never miss a game.
Never miss a game.
Yeah, there was, oh, dude, right in the beginning when that was when Murphy was tailing him, him and Lois were tailing him, and they're in the fucking the van, and that dude, he's like, he opened up the bag and all this money's all burned from the bank robbery they did, and he's like, you burnt the fucking money. You stupid asshole, you stupid asshole. And then all of a sudden he's like, can you fly, Bobby? Cleared snow. I thought it was overall a good one. I thought that was all good. But going on to it, man, it just like makes you want to, what were some of the worst, what do you think are some of the worst places they're going to get arrested at?
Oh, man. I mean, if you're doing any like embarrassing crime, I think that's, if you're like soliciting a prostitute or something, that's got to be just like super embarrassing. It's got to be a terrible place to get arrested.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I saw a video where there was a SWAT was serving a warrant. They smashed down the bathroom door and the dude's taking a shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God. Hey guys, all right, can I pinch this loaf off quick?
Yeah, I get it. Just let me let me finish up in here first before you haul me off to jail. I'd appreciate that.
Oh, dude, another one would be like if you're sitting down and eating a really fine steak and they're issuing a warrant and like you're in this really upscale 5-star restaurant and like, oh my God, let me finish my steak, man.
Yeah.
Your ass is going to fucking jail, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a good one. In church.
Oh, yeah, that would be rough.
Ooh, that would be rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's happened in a movie. The eating the steak reminds me of the scene in The Dark Knight when Commissioner Gordon comes in and just arrests, all of the Gamboni family and everyone. He's like, "You're going to arrest all of us?" Like, I am. And the whole crew comes in, takes them all out.
Yep. I had a few other ones in here. As your wife is giving birth. Bro, that's like automatic divorce. Like you're never seeing that kid again.
Yeah, she'd be upset.
A female you don't fuck around with women, especially when they're going through fucking birth.
Yeah.
Fuck that. That's like, they'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather go to jail because she'd fucking kill me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch any of those To Catch a Predator shows?
No.
Oh, you never seen those? The guy, they set up a sting operation, have a cop pretending to be a young girl. And they, the guys come over to the house thinking they're meeting a teenager. And it's, Chris Hansen, this 55-year-old dude comes out.
Yeah. Now I know what you're talking about.
Dude, that is like, some of it is hilarious. Some of it's sad. And some of it is just like the cringiest stuff you've ever seen. Like, you catch like the immediate wash of guilt and understanding that comes over these guys' faces, like, oh man, I screwed up big time. I'm not getting out of this one. I am not getting out of this. This day is not going how I thought it was.
Yeah, some of it's pretty fucked up, man. I'm like, dude, we're the cop. Like, dude, I love when the cops are just right there and they just scoop them right up.
Yeah, I mean, that's what typically they talk with Chris Hansen for like 5 or 10 minutes and like, I'm going to get out of here. And they start walking away and the cops just, tackle them, bring them over. It's like, I wasn't doing anything.
Oh, man. I also had one last one. I was like, dude, getting arrested on either a cruise ship or an airplane. Like, dude, when you're in flight and then you get arrested and then like, dude, you know how many people are going to be fucking pissed at you? Because I'm sure that plane is going to have to make it an emergency landing to get you off the plane.
So if it's a plane, they'll do an emergency landing, but I'm not 100% sure how, like, I don't know if they would
have. Oh, dude, they throw you in the slant. Don't they have like little lockers down there they throw you in the bowels of the ship?
So I don't know exactly how it works with like cruise ships, but I did watch a documentary. It was the wildest thing. These like hackers, they tried to escape to, they were, had a warrant out. People were after them. So it was this guy and this girlfriend. They tried to escape to Cuba. So they drove down to Miami, rented a little boat, or bought a boat, just like a little John boat, and actually made it to Cuba in this little John boat. Made it all the way down there. And Cuba was like, y'all got to get out of here. We're not, we're not taking your clemency or whatever. So then they, end up going back. They get lost in the middle of the ocean, and a Disney cruise ship is like coming by. So, there's some type of maritime laws, right? Like you got to take whatever. So they picked them up and they put them in a room, it's like a regular cruise room, but they weren't allowed to leave the room. They got food and everything, weren't allowed to leave the room, do any of the activities. And then as soon as they got off the boat, the cops, were just waiting for them. But yeah, so you're having a cruise, but you're not having a great time on that cruise.
Yeah, I'd lose my fucking dude. Usually typically when people get arrested, they're like drunkenness or like public like they're causing a scene, like fighting and stuff like that.
You mean like on a cruise ship?
Yeah. Or
I don't even know how that
works.
works. Like you're theoretically in international waters, right? So like, I mean, if you murder someone, you're going to get in trouble. But I think like public drunkenness, like I don't know, like what the captain of the boat's the one in charge.
No,
he might just tell you.
I'm pretty sure. Like you could be, public drunkenness is that you're on a cruise ship. Obviously, there's people getting smashed on there, but I'm saying like when you get like if you're at one of the bars on the cruise ship and then you start a fight and shit where you have to be arrested for assault and battery.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and then they charge you with but I'm pretty sure they put you in holding. And then you have to wait until they get back to the States, and then the cops are waiting there for you.
Take you to the brig.
Yeah, take you to the brig.
Yeah.
But let's move on from that. We're going to move on to some Hoarders here before we have run out of time.
Yeah,
dude, I was watching this video. I was watching this video of this dude. This dude, I think it was out in California. I'm not sure where it was at, but he had it's all basically all one level ranches in the neighborhood, and it goes from it's his entire front and backyard, and the inside is just completely covered at like 8 to 10 feet high in trash.
Yeah,
like dude, and where people were like they finally where the neighborhood the city ordinance finally came over, and then they had to clear out everything, and the dude was pissed because they were taking his shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, dude, like you should have seen it. It was disgusting. Like there were rodents and shit. The rats and stuff were all in there living, and then when you go into the house, like, dude, you watch that. Was that Hoarders? That TV show Hoarders? And like you walk in there and like these people, like you go into the house. They got so much shit there, you can't even fucking move down the fucking hallway.
Yeah, it's wild, dude. Like I love watching a Hoarder show. I'm like a glutton for watching people that are worse off than me. I don't know what it is. I watch Hoarders and I'm like, I look around my house and I'm just like happy that like, but to be fair, it is a mental disease, and by the grace of God go I, so I don't have that disease, but man, it is wild to watch like how these people live. The craziest episode of Hoarders I saw, this woman had like 30 some cats living in her house and was just keeping garbage. Like, I mean, she was like one of the most severe cases because she didn't have a working toilet. So she was just like pooping in bags and keeping them around the house. Wasn't even throwing that away. Yeah. When they went to do like the cleanup of her house, they couldn't like keep anything because everything's contaminated. They found like over a dozen dead cats that had just
oh god, I'm just picturing the smell because dude, you know how much cat shit and piss is in there.
I'm sure it's like poison to even walk into that room, dude. Disgusting.
That is fucking foul.
Yeah, like it's a disease, and like that woman needs to be in some type of assisted living facility, right? Like
yes,
if you're
I would just dump. I wouldn't even try and clean the place. I would just dump diesel all over it and just throw a match and let it burn.
I think they had to, right? I think they had to tear down the house and condemn it. You just once you get like that stuff in your drywall, in your carpets and your floors, you're only working with the bones of a house at that point. Also, you're in a house that hasn't had plumbing for the past 10 years or something, like you're not keeping that house.
Yeah. Good luck trying to get anybody to go in there and fucking clean that up too. Like fecal matter, dead corpse, like animal rot and the cleaning crews they hire for Hoarders. Those are the unsung heroes of our world. Those guys are going in their full hazmat suits, picking up like
dirty laundry or, clothes that have been bought but never worn and been sitting for 3 years. And they're like having to deal with some crazy lady coming out like, you can't throw that out. I'm going to give this rattle to my niece. And you're like, this
Oh my
rattle is
God.
covered in a dead cat. Like,
I wouldn't even bother even saying anything. I would have a fucking cattle prod. It's just like, get the fuck out of here.
They freak out, man. If you just
I
start
know
throwing away their
I
stuff.
saw some of this. Yeah, they go off the deep end. They start getting violent.
They do. I mean,
yeah, man.
It's a wild ride to be on. It's sad. It's tough. I always feel bad for like there's a lot of times, especially like with older couples, there'll be like a guy or a girl that's a hoarder, and they're like married to someone, and they're just like, I don't know what to do, man. Like, I've been married to this person for 20 years. They started doing this 10 years ago, and our whole house went crazy.
Yeah, dude, this one right here, looking for love in all the wrong places. To our great surprise, one hoarding cleanup situation yielded an entire 14 by 21 foot room filled with DVDs, and they weren't your typical romantic comedy genres, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
God, there's got to be so much venom been spilled all over that place.
Yeah, don't go through there with the black light.
Yeah, oh God. Here's one. Guilt why is charged. This is how it's said. On one occasion, our technicians uncovered solid gold bars. We frequently find items of great value, like the time we also uncovered $100,000. But no worries. With Alabama BioClean trusted team, we guarantee that all items of value uncovered during a hoarding cleanup are returned to the owner.
That's awful nice of them.
Yeah, that's awful nice to them. A night to remember, and that's night as in shining night. We've seen everything, or at least that's how it feels, until we open an otherwise average door to discover a dark room filled with medieval weapons.
All right.
And it wasn't just one room. Not number 5, not so national treasure, or was it? This cleanup took buried treasure to the next level. Part of our process as trained hoarding cleanup and sanitation professionals involves easily sorting through and discarding things that are no longer in use. But we also meticulously examine things so that the valuable, useful, or sentimental can be set aside and saved for our clients. Imagine our surprise when our careful organizing uncovered hundreds of huge sacks of silver coins and rare collections of gold coins. Still one of our most memorable hoarding house discoveries to date. Number 6. Oh, here you go. A monumental catastrophe. Several years ago, our technicians were called to a private residence in Trussellville to assess and clean up an animal hoarding situation. Animal hoarding often begins with good intentions, but as the individual accumulates more animals, they lose control of the situation and the ability to properly care for the animals. In this situation, the homeowner had accumulated more than 420 cats inside their home. Over time, the animals took over each floor of the 3-story residence, creating a dangerous safety and health environment, as well as structural damage to the house. Due to inbreeding, unfortunately, most of the cats had to be euthanized. Oh, wonderful.
You have a bunch of these
3-headed cats and shit running around. Dude, like off of, what did you ever watch that movie, Secret Life of Pets?
Yeah.
And when him and the other dog are going down the alley, and it's just like that scurvy looking fucking cat, like hairless. It's got a green eye and a white eye. And it's like looking at, dude. Can you imagine seeing some of these cats like 5 fucking legs and 20 tails, and
it's like the hills have eyes. I bet the other cats, the strays that are walking around the neighborhood are like, whoa, don't go to that house. You don't want to know what's going on up in there.
Oh my God. And can you imagine when they run out of food, those fucking cats are probably eating each other.
The inmates are running the asylum. They probably do eat each other. Yeah, that's probably true.
That also reminds me of that fucking movie Gremlins with the old woman, the old rich woman with the real estate company, and she had like all those fucking cats in her house.
There's a point. I don't know what the number is, but 420 is definitely too many cats. But what's the point of too many, right? Like 8, 9, I don't know, man. But like someone needed to talk to this woman like way early on and be like, hey, Linda, I see you have a dozen cats now. We're working our way to a baker's dozen with these felines. Let's maybe hold off. Let's maybe take a trip down to the shelter and, find some homes for these kitties,
I wouldn't pass judgment. Usually when I would assume that hoarders get involved with things is when it's a court a court ruling. And then the township has to hire them, and it's by law they have to come in there and clean house because they're not just affecting themselves, but they're affecting the community around them.
Well, yeah, I mean, you gotta know, right? Like, that's a weird thing too, right? Like, if you want to be a good neighbor, but you don't want to like, you don't want to like call the cops on your neighbor because you think they're hoarding, but you also don't want to be like smelling 420 cats next to your house,
I would just come in there and try to do some kind of shady electrical shit to make sure that the sparks go off and it's like a matchbox that goes up in flames.
Yeah, if I was their neighbor, if there was cats like coming into my yard and stuff, I'd probably call the cops. Be like, something's going on over here. They have, four score, cats over there.
Our buddy, we're going to call him Nicky D, down in the Pottstown area. They told me that like I was in the van with them. His wife was dropping us off at the local watering hole, and I was like, "Oh, look at that couch! That's a nice couch they're throwing out." I'm like, "Oh, you don't want anything from there?" And I'm like, "Really? Why?" And I was like, "Oh, do tell." And here it come to find out that like the whole neighborhood and the township are like they're getting like ordinance violations and stuff because apparently there's so many cats in that house, and
it's like I'm like.
Oh God! There's one thing that I cannot stand, and that is cat piss. Cat piss is like it's like acid, dude. It's like shooting it's like aliens. Like it just eats through everything, man.
Yeah, it's like impossible to get that smell out.
That ammonia
like burns your eyes.
Oh God, dude.
Yeah, and you can't use bleach, right? Because then you have ammonia. Now you're making mustard gas.
Yeah. So that's all I got, Joe.
I got, on that mustard gas, I guess we'll get out of here. Thanks everyone for hanging out. We will see you guys next Thursday.